Hai Teens, para remaja Indonesia, khususnya remaja di Keuskupan Agung Jakarta, selalu jumpa dengan saya, Romo Alexander Erwin Santoso MSF, dan atlet kita kali ini yaitu Donald Santoso, yang kita kenal lewat olahraga basketball di Asian Para Games kemarin khususnya. Pada saat ini kita mau bicara, kita mau ngobrol-ngobrol dengan saudara kita ini, dengan teman kita ini, tentang hidup berimannya. Oke, apa kabar Donald?
I'm doing good. How are you, Romo?
Oke, I'm fine. Dan juga teman-teman di sana tentunya semua dalam situasi yang baik juga. Saya ingin bertanya kepadamu sekarang ini, bagaimana tentang hidupmu? How is your life for now?
Kebetulan hidup saya sekarang mungkin bisa dikatakan atau saya sangat bersyukur ya. I'm very thankful to be in the opportunity to be placed in the position I'm in and given the opportunities I have right now. I moved to Indonesia most recently last year, and within this past year of being able to play in the Asian Para Games, but more importantly, being able to connect with all the people, all the communities and all the friends I've made during this process has been a huge blessing for me, and all the lives I've been impacted by. I think it's been a wonderful experience.
Do you like Indonesia?
It's hard. I moved from the States, from America, so there's a lot of things I miss.
Especially for the language.
Yeah, communicating is a lot harder here. Bahasa saya kurang bagus, masih kaku. And I don't think it'll ever get better because I think I'm too old to be able to learn the language. But I think even though there's a lot of things I miss about America, what's amazing and what I've experienced from being here is just the community and the people.
Yeah. You're not very old anyway.
I feel old.
You can learn a lot and more from Indonesian, especially for Indonesian young people here.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you about God.
Yeah.
What make you think that God is good for you?
I think, looking back throughout my life, I think one of the amazing things that God has that God has given me is really the never. How do I say this? I want to say it in Bahasa, but I can't really say it in Bahasa. Well, it's basically never putting me through something that I can't handle. And what I mean by
everything is bearable for you.
What I mean by that is bearable only through Him, through believing in Him. And so God puts me through, allows me to go through a lot of situations and obstacles that I wouldn't be able to handle alone unless I put my faith in Him. And I think that's the most amazing thing that, looking back, that I've been able to be blessed with those experiences, because that has allowed me to let go of placing my identity in just my own abilities and my own capabilities, but relying on God.
Okay. Do you think that your handicap makes you come closer to God and makes you feel that you are close to God?
Yeah, I think the physical limitations that I had to endure has definitely strengthened my faith. And what I mean by that is kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, is that I wouldn't be able to overcome a lot of these challenges if it weren't through faith.
Berapa negara yang sudah kamu kunjungi?
Quite a lot. I've been through maybe, I don't know,
especially
10
America.
countries, yeah, or 10 to 15 countries, yeah.
10 to 15 countries.
In America alone, right, there's a lot of states that I've visited, and a lot of places I've been visiting lately through wheelchair ball, through sports. So being able to have the opportunity to play wheelchair ball has given me the ability to travel a lot and meet a lot of different people.
Okay. And when you were teenagers, what your parents taught or gave examples to you about faith, being a faithful person?
I think one of the biggest things that my parents have taught me is especially prayer, or prayer, and specifically within prayer, is to be thankful, right? I think a lot of times we go...
Did they teach you to pray?
They taught me how to pray at a very young age, especially my mother. every night, during moments of joy, during moments of despair, during moments of solitude. So my mom set a good example of prayer, and I think within prayer, something that she taught me was being able to be thankful. So a lot of times we go through our daily lives praying, but praying with a lot of requests, which is not a problem in itself. But I think something my mom set a good example of is sometimes just praying just to be thankful, no matter even if we have a lot of requests.
Things.
Yeah.
So many things. Yeah. Okay. And what does family mean to you?
I think family is everything. So very fortunate to have a very close family and family that's very supportive. And I think one aspect of my family that has been a solid foundation for my life is that they're always there, no matter how far away you stray from.
Because your mom in Indonesia and you are in America.
Yeah. So I lived away from my family for a good chunk of my life, even before college.
Yes.
I lived with my relatives in the States, and so my family was still very supportive, even though the fact that I wasn't physically with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you communicate a lot with them.
Yeah.
And do you like basketball very much? Because
Yeah.
you are an athlete of the this.
Yeah, you could say that. Basketball, ever since I was young, basketball was a way for me to kind of a sense of identity, right? What I mean by that is it was a way for me to make friends when I was really young, because moving to Indonesia at a young age, I wasn't able to communicate well with.
When was the
community.
first time you played basketball?
The first time was maybe. The first time I kind of really started playing was maybe when I was 7 years old.
7 years old?
Yeah. So started playing, and I was playing a lot with my dad just in the backyard. But
So your dad likes basketball too?
I don't know if I don't think he even knows how to play. There's a lot of things, looking back, that we were just playing for fun, and he didn't really know the rules. But he set up a hoop in front of our backyard, and we played a lot back then. And it was also a way for me to invite friends over and play in front of in my backyard. So I think the reasons why I play basketball has changed since then, and every stage of my life, why I love this sport has also changed.
So what did you learn from the basketball? Is it a kind of philosophy or something that teach you how to live?
Yeah, I think one of the key aspects that we take away as athletes, basketball athletes, from the sport is this sense of teamwork, and the sense of sacrifice, right? Because it's a team sport. Not to say there's anything wrong with individual sports, but what I love about
teamwork first, what did you learn?
I think sacrifice, right?
Sacrifice.
And every athlete has a role to play on the team, and every athlete has to give up something for the greater good of that team.
So that's the philosophy.
Yeah, that's a big thing I take away from playing the sport.
So you ask many young people or young generation to play basketball too, like you, so they can make their personality to be more confident or something like that.
Yeah, I'd say physical activity in general is a great way to improve self-confidence and build a community and find a community. But yeah, if there's a specific individual or specific people who want to play basketball but don't have the means to, I'd say don't give up. Just keep finding a way to, and that's how I did it too. Going through my injuries and surgeries, I wasn't able to play basketball again.
Yeah.
So
But you continued, right?
Yeah, I was fortunate to be given an opportunity from God to be able to push and find a way to continue playing.
Talking about your limitations, what do you learn from this situation, like the limited situation conditions? Like, what did you learn? And you say that you keep playing basketball even though you are in this kind of situation, and you create even the game in Indonesia for Asian Para Games last some months, like in October.
Yeah.
In October.
Yeah.
How will you say about that?
I'd say always be humble, and what I mean is always be humble in what you can learn. When I first encountered wheelchair basketball, well, when I first was given this condition, I guess, this physical limitation, right? Or when I had to go through all the rehabilitation and surgeries, and then I was humbled physically by what I could not do anymore, right? But at the same time, I was humbled by, when I found wheelchair ball, humbled by all the new challenges that I could overcome and all the new skills and opportunities that there were as an athlete of wheelchair basketball. And so that's what I would say is that always be humble to learn, because there's always new challenges that you can learn from whatever condition you're put in.
You were the captain of this the team, right?
Yeah.
So how do you teach them? I mean, the member. Do you lead them?
Yeah, I come from a little bit of a different background from most of them, to be honest, right? None of them have played wheelchair ball in the States.
Yes.
None of them studied in the States. So I definitely come from a different background. I think example is a big thing. Communication is always, there's a little bit of a barrier, but leading by example is a good way as an athlete to show to your peers what the standards they have, to set the standards and to set the values for a collective group.
So I heard that some of them are it's a newcomer in the game.
Yeah, yeah.
So how do you support them or give them a motivation to play harder?
I think
because for them that was the first time play in a competition like that.
Yeah. That's a good question. I think for us, and this kind of going back to the concept of basketball being a team sport, and everyone have to keep sacrificing to be on the team, right? We all throughout the process, we all kind of had this this bigger picture, this value-driven goal, right? That we all set towards to, and that wasn't to win any games in the Asian Para Games. It was something bigger than that. So we all knew that each of these, we had 12 players on the team, and we knew that each of the athletes, each one of the 12, was so vital to not just this national team, but to wheelchair basketball, the future of wheelchair basketball in Indonesia. You could say that if one of these 12 guys wasn't on the team, that could jeopardize the future of the program, right? So they knew they were all the foundation, pioneers for this growing program for generations to come after them. So setting that bigger picture, that value for us to play towards, I think that's kind of how we were able to all sacrifice all the small details for that goal.
So do you plan to continue the team?
As long as I'm here, yeah. As long as I'm here
as long as you are here.
As long as I'm here and given the opportunity, yeah.
Where will you go there?
Maybe back to America. Who knows? Or play professionally in Europe.
And how about the team?
What do you mean by that? How about the team?
How about the team that you already organized?
Yeah, so it's still continuing to grow. I think one of the beautiful things about what we did was we set out, like I said, not to win games necessarily, but to empower people. And that's starting with the 12 players on our team, right? So we empowered them with knowledge of the game, with resources, but most importantly with confidence, I would say. The confidence to know that them going back to their own cities, their own provinces, and if they wanted to start programs of their own and build communities of their own, whether it be for wheelchair basketball, whether it be for another sport, or whether it be for just any other activity, they were able to do that, regardless if they were a person with disability.
Para remaja yang terkasih, kita mendengar kata atau nama Donald Santoso, pasti kita akan ingat nama itu di Asian Para Games, khususnya di olahraga basket. Nah, saya dan juga kita semua ingin tahu ya, apa yang akan diberikan oleh Donald Santoso kepada kita semua, atau tips-tips khususnya untuk para remaja. Jadi, kita ingin mendengar poin-poin apa yang penting yang bisa kalian pelajari dari seorang Donald Santoso mengenai hidupnya di masa muda. Give some points to teenagers about how they do or what should they make to create the better future for them.
I'll say a couple of things maybe. Maybe the first thing I would say is surround yourself with people who are willing to challenge you. Not necessarily people who just nod their heads, yes or no, but people who are willing to critique you, whether that be family, friends, or just your community, co-workers, because that is really an opportunity for you to grow and for you to self-reflect and look at what things in your life need to change and what things you can improve on and what obstacles and how you can overcome those obstacles. So that would be the number one thing I would say, is surround yourself with people who are willing to challenge you. Don't be comfortable. Number two, I would say, is where your identity lies. You know, I struggled a lot with, in the beginning, with not knowing where my identity was. And what I mean by that is I used to really place a lot of value, a lot of self-worth on what I was physically capable of doing as an athlete, right? And then when I got hurt and when I had to go through surgeries and when I had to distance myself from a lot of the people that I was used to hanging around with, I kind of lost that sense of identity. But I would say I found it again because I kind of realized, as we talked about earlier, is that finding your identity through Christ and through God. Because even if we're not able to overcome the challenges, God is able to overcome. So if we place our identity in God, anything is possible.
Okay. Do you have any favorite prayer for you in your life?
I can't think of one on the spot, but I can't think of one on the spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But actually, you attend the Holy Eucharist or the Mass every Sunday.
Well, me and my family, my wife is not Catholic.
Yes.
So we go to both, I would say.
Okay.
And I think there's beauty in that also, is that us being able to, her family is not Catholic as well. And so being exposed to multiple denominations,
okay,
all within the Christian family.
Okay.
I think
but both of you are Christian, right?
Correct. Both of us are Christian, yes.
But the different denomination.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Donald, for coming to us, for giving information. Giving. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you, Donald, for coming and for giving us the inspiration, especially for us, khususnya buat kita para remaja, anak muda Indonesia, anak muda Katolik di Keuskupan Agung Jakarta dan di mana-mana. Semoga apa yang kita sudah dengarkan bersama menjadi inspirasi buat kita. Tidak ada sesuatu yang dapat menghalangi kita untuk bahagia. Tidak ada sesuatu yang membuat semangat kita menjadi tidak bernyala. Tetapi hanya berada di dekat Tuhan dan percaya bahwa segala berkat sudah diberikan bagi kita, maka kita akan bertumbuh bersama. Thank you for coming and thank you for giving us the inspiration. God bless you.
Thank you so much. God bless.